Well, nonetheless, her message is very strong that was probably the most important thing she did was bring you on.
This is what I think about that. A foreclosure is a lawsuit. It's a legal process. I don't attempt to pull my own teeth. Okay.
Right.
I don't attempt to build my own house because that's not what I do. And when you're involved in the legal process, I believe you should see a lawyer. Now, should you hire a lawyer? There's a difference between consulting a lawyer and paying for a half an hour of his or her time and hiring a lawyer. Those are two different questions. But consulting a lawyer, you absolutely have to do. Because, first of all, you don't, some people do, but most people don't understand the process that they've been injected into. And they need someone to explain to them what it all means. The worst part about the foreclosure, long term, isn't losing the home. Although certainly that's the most traumatic and emotional part. But long term, it's the potential for a deficiency judgment against you down the road. And people don't understand that.
What's a deficiency judgment?
A deficiency judgment is a judgment based upon what the bank can't recover. So when the bank forecloses on your home, they get an order of sheriff's sale. They sell the home at a sheriff's sale. And one of two things happens. Either someone comes in and buys it for a little more than is owed to the bank, in which case the bank is pretty much made whole.
Yeah.
But that actually is the exception. The rule is, what happens most often is the bank buys it. It buys it for what's owed to them.
Yeah.
Because nobody is there that's going to bid more than that. So now the bank owns your house. Now they have to go sell it. They put it on the open market, sell it like any other home. If you owed the bank $150,000 and they can only sell it, your home, for $100,000, that $50,000 doesn't go away. That becomes a deficiency judgment against you. And people don't understand that.
No, I don't think they do, and I think that's hopefully from these shows this would be something they can walk away with this, because that's just like any other $50,000 debt. They're going to have to pay it. They have no house anymore. The house is gone.
Right.
But when the bill collectors come after them, if they're working, they could have their wages garnished. I mean, going back to what you said earlier, people think, well, I guess I just walk away from the house.
Right.
You don't exactly walk away. You might walk away from the house, but you don't walk away from the debt.
No, you don't. You absolutely don't. And many of those people who don't know that make a decision to let the house go and don't realize that next thing is going to happen to them. And frankly, most of them, well, I don't know about most, but certainly a large number of them end up in bankruptcy because there's nowhere else for them to go. Because most of us can't pay a $50,000, $60,000 judgment.
Absolutely not. Well, I'm going to ask you, we're going to see as the show goes on that Pebble's situation sort of moves from bad to worse in some ways. But I think I'm going to harken back to just a bit of something the judge said earlier, and maybe what you just said, is consulting with a lawyer versus hiring a lawyer. And the first thing that comes to most people's mind, if I can't afford my house payment, how can I afford a lawyer? But the message that both of you are sending here is that this is going to cost you a whole lot more, and which people don't really understand what it will cost them without the help of a lawyer. So when you talk about consultation, somebody coming to talk to you, which is, I think once that happens, I know in Pebble's case it made all the difference in the world, obviously. But is there simply just a fee that people pay a lawyer for this, or retaining you, or how does this work?
Well, that's a great question, and understand that every lawyer has a different way of practicing law, okay? And I can't speak for everyone. But, you know, legal fees in Medina County range anywhere from $150 per hour to maybe there's a few people out there at $250, although I'm not sure in Medina County there's very many lawyers charging that. If someone comes to my office and they need my advice, and it takes me a half an hour of my time to give them that advice, that's what they get billed for. And any lawyer who you might approach who isn't doing it that way, you probably should question.
I see.
Okay? Now, that advice may be, look, your situation is untenable. Okay? There's no way you're going to save this house. There's no way that we're going to stave off this foreclosure. And frankly, spending more money on a lawyer to delay the inevitable is not in your best interest, and I don't believe you should do that.
I see.
Okay?